Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing us how to create text with CorelDraw. You cannot overemphasize the impact that font has to the beauty of your design. So I'm going to be showing us how to create effects like this, how to create text effects like this. So one of my students brought this design to me and we wanted to get a font that's close to this, but we've checked all we could. The font we got was a sold font. The font is premium and it's sold for $31. So I said to myself, how can we get something like this? So I decided to create the font myself. So I'm going to be showing us how to do this right now. So I brought the picture to CorelDraw. Then you go to this zoom tool here, you go to zoom tool. This is zoom tool over here, so I'm going to click on it, then zoom in on this text. As you can see, so I've zoomed in on it. So I'm going to zoom in on this particular one. I'm going to start with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is to select the shape tool, which is the rectangle tool, this rectangle tool right here. So I'm going to select it, then draw it over the M. You can see. So the next thing I want to do now is to create the partitions, these partitions you have here. And to do that, I'm going to draw another box inside there. You're going to make it overlap slightly. Let it overlap. When I say overlap, I mean this corner here. Let this longer one just come over this one that went this way. So I'm going to do that for the next one. The same thing, or better still, I can just duplicate this one here, Ctrl D, and just place it same way. Then I'm going to draw this one down here. Just draw it like this. So this is where we're going to create the font. So to do that, let me just bring it out here so you can understand what I'm doing. I'll select it and drag it out like this. So now what we're going to do, we're going to trim this part now out of this box I just made now. So I'm going to select this one here, hold shift and select the box itself. Then I'm going to click on this trim here. This is trim. This has different features, but what we're going to be working on is trim. So I'm going to select this option. So having done that, you can see that this has been trimmed out. So I'm going to click on this and press delete. So I've been able to create one side of it. So I'm going to do that now for the second side. So the same way, I hold this, hold down shift, then select the box, then I'll go to trim again. You can see. So with this now, I've been able to create the M over here. So the next thing I want to do quickly is to create the U. So same process, draw this right here, then draw another box inside. Remember to make it overlap slightly. Let it overlap, then highlight it, bring it out, The reason I'm bringing it out is just to have enough space to work on it. I can move this one somewhere else and bring this out properly. Let me zoom in, Shift and F2. So same process, you hold this one, select this, hold down Shift and select the outer box, then you trim again. You can see it, trim. So this is done. So I want to just do this as fast as possible. I've been able to create the U now. So the next thing I want to create now is the S. Let's zoom into it. So to create the S now, this one is a bit technical, but just follow me. I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to draw this one here. Then I will draw a box in here. I'm going to draw a box in here. Let it overlap still, don't forget this one out. Then I'll do another one to overlap from this side to this point. It's going to overlap on this side too. You can see that. So I'm going to create the one down here. So I'll select this shape tool again, the rectangle tool. So draw my box, let it overlap. Then I'll do the next one. It's going to overlap on both ends. So you can see it. So let me move this way, then bring this one outside. Let me move it. Let me move this way. Then highlight the S and bring it out. Let me just do it here. Let me zoom into it. Zoom tool, then zoom in. Okay, so this is what we have now. So to get the S, the first thing we're going to do is to select these two here, these two boxes I drew up here, and trim. So with this, I've been able to create this shape you're seeing right here. So I'm going to do the same for this one down here. Trim again. Good. I'm going to delete. Like I said before, make sure this is overlapping. Make sure it's overlapping, because that's what's going to create the opening for what we are going to do on this side, to make sure it's overlapping. So let me now trim it. So I'm going to now select this whole shape here, or let me select this one first. Select this, hold down the box, hold down Shift and select the box, then you trim, delete. You can see it has created that side. Hold down Shift as well, select this, hold down Shift and select the box again and trim again. It has created this one over here. So you can see I've created my S as well. You can see how it's coming out. So very quickly I'm going to drop this here. Okay, let me create the eye. This one is very simple. I don't need to waste time on this one. So use my shape tool, the rectangle tool, draw the box, and draw the longer side of it. That is it basically. So I'm going to move this out and drop it here. I can bring in my ruler to make sure it's aligned, but I can do that when I'm done. But let me just keep setting it on this side. Move it. Yes. So the next thing now is to draw the C. So you have to look at this closely as well. Same thing here. Draw our rectangle tool. Draw another one here. Then draw this one here. Good. So let me zoom in on it, on this part now. So for this part, you're going to make sure that this one now crosses on this line here, and this one too overlaps outside, because I don't need this breakage here, so I need it to merge. So to achieve that now, I'm going to drop this tool. So I'll select this one here, hold shift and select this, then I trim it. So you can see I've been able to join these two together. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to select these two and weld it. So I'm going to weld it together. Then you can see it has created this shape for me now. So I'm going to now hold down, let me zoom out so you see. So I'm going to now select it, then hold down shift and select the box and trim again. So I've been able to create my C. Let me move it out where I have the others. I'll just drop it here. So the next thing I want to create now is this F. Just come with me. The F. Let me zoom into it. So same way I draw my rectangle. Then on this part, I'm going to convert this rectangle to curve by clicking on Ctrl Q and selecting this. So what I'm trying to achieve now is to create this section you're seeing here. I want to create this angle here. So I'll double click on this point here, double click here, and double click here. Then just drag this in and position it. You can see how I did that so fast. So now the next thing I want to do now is to create this one here now. So same way you draw your box, to overlap. You do the next box again to overlap this way. Let it overlap. That's it. Then let me move it out so you can see what we're doing. Highlight and move out somewhere here. So let me zoom into it. Okay, so first off I need to create this one, so I'll highlight both of them, then trim, delete this part, then use this part now to trim out this shape from the box. So hold down shift again and select this and you trim. So you can see we've successfully created the F, but there is something below the F just like this one for the M. So I can just click on this, duplicate it, Ctrl D, then you move it underneath. Let me use the ruler to size it, then click on this and reduce the size accordingly. Good. So that's for that. The next thing I want to create now is the E. I think there's a space here. Let me just move this. Let me shift it. Alright, so let me create the E now. Same step. By now you should have understood the way this thing works. So click on this. Let's zoom in again to have a better view. Then select this over here to create the hollow inside. Then we'll do the regular process. Create your box, let it overlap, then create the smaller box, let it overlap on both ends as well. Then same process, we'll bring it out, we'll bring it out here. Then let me zoom in on it. So I'm going to select this, hold shift and select the box to create the hollow. Done that now, so I'm going to delete this. The same way here, highlight these two, or better still, select this one here, hold shift and select the one behind. So either way it works. Then you trim, delete this, Then you select this one, hold down shift and select the box, then trim again, and you delete this. So you can see we've created the E easily. So we'll bring this here and drop. So the next thing is the S. Let me create the S very quickly. Draw the box. Do the usual overlap. Then bring it out. Bring it out. Let me zoom in on it. So I'm going to create this, hold this and trim it. You can see, so I'm going to use it to create the one down there for the S. So I'm going to tap on this. So I'm going to tap on this to flip it over, this one here and this one, to flip it the other way. So I'm just going to bring it somewhere down here. That's for the other side of the S. You can see that. So I'll hold this down, select the box and trim. I've created one side of the S. Do the same thing here, hold it down, hold the box and trim. So you can see I had one S before, I should have just duplicated it, but let's continue. Alright, so now let's do the last one here now, which is the T. Let me zoom into it. Draw this box again. So you remember the way we carved this angle for this F here? That's what we're going to do for this side of the T. So I'm going to select the shape tool. This is shape tool. This is shape tool over here. So I'm going to select it, then Control Q to convert this to curve. Control Q, double tap somewhere here, double tap somewhere here to create a break there. Then you draw this, make sure it's straight, and you drop it. Then we create this box in here. Let it overlap. You do the same here, overlap. Then I'll move it out, highlight it and bring it outside so I can work on it. So I'll zoom into it, I'll select this tool here, trim it first, delete this part I don't want, then highlight this and trim as well. So you can see I've succeeded in creating all the text. I've succeeded in creating all the text. So what I want to do now is to add color to it. I can select everything here and give it one color. You can see. But when you look at this design, there's this gradient feel in the design where you have red fading into blue. So that is what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to highlight everything. When you highlight everything, you go to this section and say weld. I don't know if you can say it. Let me highlight it. You go to this section here and say weld. What weld does now is to join all this individual text to become one whole container, so you can put the color inside. So I'm going to click on this now. It has welded. So now I'm going to add the colors to it. So double tap on this gradient here, double tap on gradient, this one here, double click on it. When this opens, you're going to see something like this. This is uniform fill, but what we're going to do is fountain fill. So you click on fountain fill. Let me move this so you can see. So let me move it down. So this is fountain fill. So what I'm trying to do now is to add this shade of color to this our own text. So you see this house down here, this one here. So I'm going to click on it. Then you come down to this place here and pick color. When you pick this color, then you add the red shade. You can see you add the red shade. But when you look at this again, you notice that this has more of red on this side and blue on just this small end of it. So to do that, we're going to turn this. We're going to turn this. So when you put the cursor here, you can move out, you can move this color any way you want. You can see it. So let's have this red shade to come from this side. So if you still look at it again, you see there is more of red than blue. So to do that, you see this small arrow here. You just adjust it a bit to the left, so you can see it. So that is it. Then we're going to OK this. We're going to OK this. So you can see now we've been able to get almost exactly this font we have here. So this is how you come up with fonts when you don't have an existing font in your computer. So if you got value from this, please hit the subscribe button, like and share this video so you can get to every other person out there. See you in my next video, guys. Cheers.